Benji. He was the most perfect little baby I'd ever set my eyes on. He was utterly perfect. Hair, and he looked like a little doll.
Welcome to Still a Part of Us, a place where moms and dads share the story of their child who was stillborn or who died in infancy. I'm Winter.
And I'm Lee. We are grateful you joined us today. Please note that this is a story of loss and has triggers.
Thanks to our lost parents who are willing to be vulnerable and share their children with us.
If you're listening to this podcast, just know that on our YouTube channel there are pictures and videos that are related to the stories that are being shared.
Subscribe and share it with a friend that might need it, and tell them to subscribe. Why? Because people need to know that even though our babies are no longer with us, they're still a part of us. Welcome to Still a Part of Us. I am really excited to talk to Sonja today. She reached out to us and wanted to talk about her sweet little Benji. And the other thing that is very exciting is that we often don't get international folks on our podcast. And so I was also excited that Sonja reached out to us, because this is just we've never had anybody from New Zealand before. So welcome, Sonja. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you. It's really, it's lovely to be able to tell my story.
Yes, I know. Yeah. Anytime we get to talk about our kids, it's a lovely time.
It is, yeah.
Okay. So, Sonja, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you guys are at and what your family looks like right now?
Yeah. So there's myself and my husband. We've got a 6-year-old daughter, 4-year-old daughter, and we've just recently we've got a 5-month-old baby.
Okay.
And so Benji slotted in between our 4-year-old and the 5-month-old. And we're a farming family. So most of our spare time's tied up farming with cattle. And we're in the lower island of New Zealand, so it can get quite cold.
Yeah.
Probably not as cold as some places in America, I'm sure. Yeah, and we just our time's busy with the kids. We're outdoors a lot.
That's fantastic. And then at the time of this recording of our podcast, when was Benji born?
So Benji was born on the 13th of September, 2024.
Okay.
So year and a half?
Yeah, about
nearly 2 years.
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy when you're just, you're like,
I know.
What?
Yeah.
It's crazy. So, okay, you guys sound like you are super busy, because farming life is very busy.
It is. But I think we wouldn't have it any other way. So that's what we know. And
yeah. Is it a family business then? Is that how both of you got into it?
Yeah, both grew up with farming families, and we've sort of, me and my husband have purchased our own farm, which he spends a lot of his focus on, and then I'm tied up in my family farm. So we seem to juggle ourselves around properties, but we make it work, and it's a great way for the kids to grow up.
Oh, yes.
Over here, so
that's wonderful. And
great communities too.
Yeah, I was going to say, it sounds like both of your families are somewhat nearby also.
Yes, yeah. So we live down with my family. Now my husband's family, they live up in the North Island of New Zealand. So a plane flight away, but we probably still see them once a year, maybe 3 times a year they'll come down. Yeah.
Good. Okay, so close-ish, and but far enough away that it's not like, oh, I'm going to just stop by.
No cold calling in. But.
Exactly. Okay, wonderful. And then how did you guys meet then, you and your husband?
Oh, I think some party on our farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So every May we have duck shooting here, which is like a hunting weekend, opening weekend. And it was just a party, and yes, we didn't bore each other when we were talking, so that
fantastic.
Was it,
Yes,
the rest is history.
Well, that is wonderful. And okay, so with your other kids, can you tell me, did you guys plan on having kids? Was that part of your discussion when you guys got married? you always wanted to have a family, or was this having kids a little bit of a surprise for you?
I wouldn't say no, not a surprise. We always thought we probably would have kids, but when we fell pregnant with our first, we weren't crying. We weren't.
Gotcha.
It just happened.
Okay.
And then I don't know, maybe like most people, we sort of think like after we had her, oh, why did we wait? Perhaps we should have started a little bit early, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. She came along, and yeah, I think it's special, isn't it, once you start having kids and you don't quite realize until you realize until you start having kids what it's like.
Yeah. It rocks your world, doesn't it?
It does. It changes it, but in a good way. Yeah. You can't imagine times without them.
Yeah. Okay. So then it sounds like when you guys got pregnant with your first couple of kids, did you have any issues or getting pregnant?
No issues getting pregnant. Our firstborn came at 33 weeks, just spontaneously.
Okay, so a bit early.
Which then, a bit early. So we spent, and that was right on COVID.
Oh.
So no one knew what was going on. We spent, I think, a month in the baby unit.
Yes.
And at this stage, we were living in the North Island. So we were in Auckland, which is our biggest city.
Mm-hmm.
That happened. And due to that, I became a high risk.
Yes.
Because we also had no answers as to why she came early. Okay. Just happened. Step back. During one of my scans, I was told I had a bicornuate uterus, like a different shaped uterus.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So again, that's probably another tick for high risk. Baby number 2 came along 2 years later.
Okay.
And I was then induced at 36 weeks because I developed preeclampsia.
Oh, goodness.
Which came out of nowhere.
Yes.
But had number 1 have stayed in longer, perhaps I would have developed it too. We're not quite sure.
Right.
So that was another huge tick for high risk for Benji's pregnancy.
Yes.
And our first 2 children, when they had been born and were feeding, everything ticked on like normal after that.
Okay.
And I think with the first one coming early, I didn't know any different. So
yes.
I didn't know any different.
Exactly. Yeah. You're just like, okay, this is the course of pregnancy.
It is what it is. And
we're going to deal with it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, I was then, I guess, put into, like I said, a category of a high-risk pregnancy.
From there on out.
From there on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you got pregnant with Benji, were you guys trying to get pregnant, or was that also just like we weren't preventing it? We weren't.
Yeah, pretty much. We hadn't tried for any. We're very lucky that we've managed to fall pregnant very easily. We haven't had any issues falling pregnant. So, things just
happened.
Seemed to happen.
Okay.
And,
good.
Yeah.
So when you got pregnant with Benji, then your other girls, your other kids were, how old were they at the time? They would have been.
So Mila would have been 4, Tully would have been 2.
Yes. It was a couple of years.
Oddly, about 2 years between each
kid. Okay.
Yeah.
So, when you found out that you were pregnant, did you say, tell everybody, or it was like, oh, I'm pregnant?
We told everyone. And I think with the ages of the children, our oldest, she was very excited.
Oh, yeah.
Our middle child probably didn't quite grasp what was going to happen or what was going to change. We told everyone, and I guess because, the other 2 had things arise, complications arise,
right? But
stillbirth or nothing, anything like that was nowhere near on my radar.
Yes, of course.
I just assumed that it was going to go like the others, and if you're lucky, you'll make it to 36 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. So then you are pregnant. Do you tell me, I'm not sure of the medical system down there. So do you usually see doctor, midwife? How does that usually work?
So you see a midwife, must be about, I think I saw a midwife at 6 quite early.
Okay.
Or I had a very early scan at about 6 to 8 weeks as a dating scan.
Okay.
You then would get some genetic testing and another scan at about 13 weeks.
Okay.
After that, you're then 18 to 20 weeks for your anatomy.
Okay.
And then it might be monthly after that. Now, because I was high risk,
right,
I had very regular scans, which was, a nice sort of peace of mind for myself. So, yes, and you see a midwife monthly, and then as we got up to, it's been 28 weeks for myself, I started seeing a midwife every fortnight.
Okay.
But normally you would be monthly up until probably 36 weeks, and then you would drop to weekly from then on.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I was also under an obstetrician. So a doctor, I would see, towards the end, I would see her 1 week. Then the following week, I would see the midwife. And that must have both been from about 28 weeks, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that made you feel a little bit better just to be watched a little bit more closely.
It did.
Okay.
And, everyone, I think, likes to, it's fine. Everyone likes to see and hear their baby, don't you? Because it can feel a long time between appointments.
Exactly.
I found. Yeah. Yeah.
And then when you started, I guess in that first trimester, how were you feeling? Like pregnancy symptoms, any issues?
No, I've had if I have any morning sickness, it would be very brief, nauseous feeling. I've never had any vomiting or anything like that.
You're so lucky.
Very lucky. And with my other pregnancies, I think with number 2, I didn't find out till I was maybe 13 weeks.
Oh.
It just seems to hide, blends and very lucky with symptoms actually. Probably. Yeah, and so for our 2 girls that came first, we never found out what we were having. And we thought this time, my husband was always desperate to find out what sex we were going to have. And so at our 18-week scan, we found out we were having a wee boy.
Yes.
And my husband was absolutely over the moon.
I'm sure.
Like a lot of men to have a boy. Yeah. And probably if I compare the pregnancies, I do remember as time went on just feeling quite uncomfortable, and I felt like I was carrying differently to the girls. But then that could have just been the 3rd pregnancy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt quite sort of just more uncomfortable. Yeah.
Okay, that's so fun. Like that you could tell a difference there. That's fun.
Yeah.
So
apart from that,
I was going to say, why did you decide to find out this time and not with your other 2 girls? It sounded like it almost seems like it was kind of
I just had the same. He wanted to find out, I think, for number 2.
Okay.
But I said, oh no, let's not. He's probably one of these people that likes to plan or know, whereas I'm very much just, what will happen? Okay. Let's have a surprise. So. Yeah.
So then when you found out it was going to be a boy, did you guys start thinking of names or because I always like to ask about names. So I like the name Benji. No. I think it's adorable.
No, we didn't. We for our other, actually the 3 girls we've got now, it's taken us a long time to name them. We've been shocking with names actually. We don't seem to have, we've never had a list or anything like that.
Okay.
The names just seem to come to us, and often it's a week or 2 after birth. And Benji we were probably the most rushed with Benji actually to come up with a name. Yeah, so no, probably quite spur of the moment people in the naming regard.
Yeah. That's so fun. Well, I'm excited to hear more about that. And okay, so then you guys had you mentioned you had the genetic testing probably around 13 weeks.
Yes,
did everything look good there?
Yeah, everything was clear there.
Okay.
No worries at all from there. Yeah.
And then what about the at the anatomy scan? How did he look at that scan? Were they worried about anything?
No, he, actually, it wasn't my anatomy scan. I got told, I can't quite remember if it was the sonographer or my midwife, but I had a velamentous cord insertion.
Okay.
So a normal cord into the placenta is just one cord.
Right.
Now, velamentous looks like fingers, so it's got multiple
insertions.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'd never heard of it before.
Yes.
But no one seemed, when they told me no one seemed very concerned. It was just, this, happens from time to time. And just one thing I always remember, as you do, chucked it into Google.
Of course.
And I remember somewhere, whether it just came up on the front page, there was it said, can cause or can lead to infant fertility, like fatal. And I remember thinking, that must be old.
Yeah.
News. Babies don't die. I didn't think too much into it.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing that was picked up that was unusual, I guess. But yeah, anatomy scan looked great.
Looks great.
Okay. No
Okay.
concerns. Yeah. Yeah.
And how were you feeling? I know that you had preeclampsia before, and you obviously went into kind of preterm labor with your first one, right? So that it would start. You had her way earlier. So were you doing okay? Were you feeling good?
Yeah, feeling good, doing okay. Probably one thing I always joked with my midwife, how long will we keep this baby in for? Or,
yes.
Because we didn't know why number one came at 33 weeks. Feeling fine. Like I said, if anything, I felt probably as time went on a little bit more uncomfortable than the previous pregnancies. I just sort of felt like I was carrying differently, but no, it was a breeze. I was still working full-time on the farm, but kept fairly fit and active. And the pregnancy if I think back, I've been very lucky. It was a breeze.
Yes. It really does sound like the way you're describing it. You're like, I was feeling good, keep it busy.
Yeah. So the only thing that stuck out was that different cord insertion. Mm-hmm. Really? Okay. Yeah.
So then, and then I just was he doing okay? Was he looking good at all of these appointments?
Very,
good
very
size.
Active baby.
Okay, active. Okay.
Good size. Yeah, he sat in the 50th percentile the whole. So I think I can't quite remember, but when I started having growth scans, because that was another thing, that cord insertion can cause a growth restriction at some stage, and it didn't for us. So he always spotted about the 50th percentile the whole way through. Okay. So as far as everyone was aware, he was perfect. He was doing perfect.
He was doing great. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys have maybe a baby shower since this is a little boy that you were not
No, we didn't. No, we didn't actually.
Okay.
And even with our first, because she came so early.
Oh yes, I'm sure that took everybody by surprise.
But you sort of accumulate so much stuff that. We didn't have a baby shower. And everyone was very excited though for a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Okay, so then tell me how things progressed as we start getting into the later, into the second, third trimester. How everything started to look.
Everything kept tracking really well. And like I said, as time went on, I think from about 28 weeks, I was seeing an obstetrician regularly, midwife regularly. So we must have got through to about 30, 32 weeks. And then so my last appointment was 34 weeks with my midwife. And then we lost Benji at 34.6 or
just right close.
And so, in hindsight, we had talked about delivery at 36 weeks.
Yes.
just due to the preeclampsia developing the previous pregnancy. And I was on aspirin, calcium for the whole pregnancy of Benji.
Okay.
Just as a preventative, and didn't have any signs of anything developing. My blood pressure had been pretty stable, and every appointment they go through a checklist of and everything seemed fine, no protein leaking or anything like that.
Okay. So then you had gone to the midwife at your 34-week appointment, and was he doing okay at that one? I think
he was doing fine, and I've got you back now.
Yeah, I was like, I'm frozen and you're frozen. So.
I'll never forget, she put the Doppler on, and these words like almost haunt me a little bit, but she goes, happy, healthy baby. That's what we love to hear. And he was. But then I guess in hindsight, that Doppler's only a snapshot, isn't it, at that time?
Yeah.
And so, no, he was fine. And this was 2 days before we gave birth to him.
Okay.
This would have been 2 days before. So, his heart rate seemed fine. Like I said, I'd felt really uncomfortable as time had gone on, but I just, I put that down to sort of a third pregnancy.
Exactly.
And you're like growth-wise, and you're getting bigger, you're getting further on. And this I was 2 weeks off being the most pregnant I'd ever been. So, and growth, I think I'd had a scan that week before. Again, he sat in the 50th percentile. There was nothing, never anything unusual about his scans.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so the next day, so I had my midwife appointment on the Wednesday.
Okay.
Now the Thursday, if I look back, I can remember feeling like a small, like just a bit of a niggle, sort of like a little bit of, I don't know if I'd call it back pain, but I'd been, I'd found this pregnancy, like I'd be on the couch and I'd find it quite hard to wriggle off. And I definitely felt bigger and more uncomfortable compared to the previous pregnancies this time.
Yeah.
And I'd, maybe had a little bit of ligament pain. So that was on a Thursday. And I do just wonder whether that niggle I had was potentially him passing away. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you always think back and think,
Was that
should I have looked, listened a bit? Yeah.
Yeah. There's lots of we should have, or what if I did this?
I know. Yeah.
Okay. So then a little bit of pain, a little bit of a discomfort. It sounds like a little bit more than usual that Thursday, right?
A little bit more than usual, but nothing.
It's so crazy, right? It sounds like it was. Yeah. It was just. It was what it was.
Yeah, nothing I couldn't push. I mean, and it was only very brief, and it wasn't. It was sort of there and then gone, and I just thought, that's just a niggly. Nothing that I sort of thought, oh gosh, I better go get checked, or nothing like that. Yeah.
Okay, and then the following day, tell me kind of just what happened.
Yeah, so the following day, I do remember going to bed that night and thinking, his movements have changed a little bit. But my midwife had said to me, baby's getting bigger, running out of room, expect movements to change. They shouldn't disappear, but they might change a wee bit. And I thought, okay, cool. So that morning at about 6, I woke up to my waters leaking.
Oh, okay.
And I thought, oh gosh, it's go time. Okay, we made it to 34, nearly for 35 weeks.
Yeah.
It's time to go.
Yep.
Very briefly in my mind, I thought, oh gosh, I had always been a very active baby at night. Like it would quite often wake me up. And I remember thinking, I didn't feel him last night, but oh well, off we go. So I rang my midwife, we dropped the kids at my parents' place.
Yeah.
And our midwife clinic, which is part of our little doctor's medical centre, was 20 minutes away. So this would have been about 6 in the morning.
Okay.
We got in there and she's scanning around, trying to find, she goes, oh, we'll just see what he's doing in there. And she's scanning around and she goes, oh, no, that's your heart rate that I can hear now. And as time sort of went on, I remember thinking, oh, gosh, something might not be right here. And so no one else is around at this time. That the medical centre's closed.
Right.
So you're in there after hours as such. And she got the scanner and I do remember the screen was slightly away from me, but she quickly ran the wand sort of over my tummy and there was no movement on the screen. And by this stage, I mean, you know what your baby looks like when it appears. But she very quickly whipped it off. And I just said to her, I said, oh, I don't think I've felt him move at all this morning. And she said, oh, look, I want you to get going through to Dunedin, which is our closest city, which is an hour's drive from our medical centre.
Yes.
So she said, get in the car, get going. I'm going to meet you up there. So she goes, I'm just going to ring and let them know that you're coming up. And by this stage, I thought, gosh, something's not right here. I hadn't felt him. We had a bottle of water in the truck, and on the way, I drank it and nothing, no movement.
Yeah.
And I said to my husband, I haven't felt him move. I don't think I've felt him move. And he was very sort of reassuring and said, oh, look, we're on the way to the hospital. I'm sure they'll sort through. And yeah, as I said, like, losing a baby was never on my radar.
On your radar.
None of my close friends have ever, I'd never experienced anything like that. And so, we got through to Dunedin. It must have been about 8 o'clock. It was things had moved fairly quick.
Right.
And look, in hindsight, I think my midwife saw enough to decide there that he had passed away, but she perhaps needed another opinion or wasn't,
Yeah. And sometimes
from a doctor.
Yeah, I was going to say in the United States, nurses can't kind of, declare.
Yeah, make that call to say, yeah.
So, okay.
So we get through to Dunedin and we're put in this room. So, we turn up at the hospital and my water's fully break. And that was dramatic on its own.
Oh, really?
Where was I? Sorry. So we get taken to this room, and
your water had broken too, right?
Yeah, water had broken everywhere in the car park, and that was very So I'm very uncomfortable at this stage, very wet. We get taken up to this room, and my midwife's face, she was very I could just see on her face there was worry. But I remember thinking, oh, we're at the hospital now, surely I haven't felt him, but surely they can do something, right? So in my head, we get taken up to this room, and it's a huge delivery suite looking room. And there's a double bed in the corner, and that's not normal for delivery rooms here. You might have a chair or a couch or something for your husband, never a double bed. Yeah. And I thought, oh, this is okay. This is
fancy,
glamorous.
Yeah.
And I remember saying to her, oh, I haven't felt him move. Worst case, what does this mean? And so she sort of said, oh, look, we're going to wait for a sonographer to come up, a doctor to come along. They'll have a listen. She said, look, Sonja, I'm going to be honest with you here. I couldn't find his heartbeat back in our local clinic. So we sat there, and it felt, I've got no idea of time at this stage, but it's felt like we sat there for a long time. And I remember thinking, why is no one rushing in? There's no urgency.
Yes.
Like, what if we get this baby out now? He might still be okay.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not 100% sure on times, but it felt like we sat there for a couple of hours waiting for a sonographer.
Yeah.
And she came up with 3 medical students with her. And I'll never forget that too. And I remember thinking, oh gosh, I've ruined their day.
Yeah.
It's funny what your mind thinks after. And she said, oh, look, I've got these students. Is it okay if they sit in? And I just said yes. But in hindsight, I sort of think also, I mean, I know people need to experience everything, but that might not have been the right place.
Yeah.
Or right thing to bring them into. And so she brings the care machine up and she says, look, I'm not intentionally going to face this away from you. If you want to see the screen, you can. But I'm just going to start looking for your baby now. And so, she started the screen's way. And I just remember lying there with my fingers crossed so hard, thinking, please find like a heartbeat or some movement. Maybe, they could do a C-section, emergency C-section, and we could get him out and things could be okay. And then she goes, I'm so sorry. And I still remember that feeling of like utter, it was almost like you're standing on a trapdoor and it's just open.
Yeah.
You're just falling and you're like, Yeah. And I guess that's when unfortunately our lives changed forever after,
Yeah.
And I remember lying there and there was no sound of crying, but I just remember the hot tears, just like a stream continually running. And I honestly could not believe that we were in that position, that this had happened. Yeah. And then I'm sort of looking around the room and I was like, oh, no wonder we're in this room. This isn't a normal delivery room. So she left and, unfortunately my husband had to make the phone calls to family. My midwife stayed there with us and she was sort of popping in and out. And then an obstetrician came in and she just explained everything to us. And, it's funny because I sort of think back now and I sort of really can't remember what she said to us. Some things are very vivid. Like I could still remember the sonographer's face and her telling me that there was no heartbeat. I can remember what the tears felt like, but a lot of conversations we had, you just can't remember. It's just gone. Yeah.
Yep.
It was just like heartbreaking. The worst thing imaginable, wasn't it? Like it's
the worst.
Your world just completely flips upside down. Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't think... and it's interesting with your 2 previous pregnancies, you kind of had some big deal things happen to your kids. Like they came early, you had preeclampsia, and you're like, it worked out. It worked out. Yeah,
exactly. Like I said, like once they were born and feeding, everything just was fine. And, I've hadn't had any friends that had lost a baby or anything like that. And so I guess I didn't even think it happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I always thought I was under such regular monitoring and care that how could it happen? How could things
change so quickly in such a short time?
Oh, yeah. And like I said, like I'd been in 2 days earlier.
Right.
And no concerns at all. No concerns. Yeah. It was, And like I said, I'm not even 100% sure what time of the day that was. It must have been still before lunch.
Right.
But I do remember thinking when we were waiting for her, why isn't anyone rushing? Why isn't anyone rushing to me? So I know my midwife knew that he had passed by that stage. And so my mum was living in that city at the time. So she came down once my husband had called her.
Okay.
And I was, initially very obviously upset, but I sort of snapped and I remember saying to my midwife, what happens now? What needs to happen now?
Yeah.
And I guess, and I didn't think, oh, you're going to have to give birth
I know, right?
to a dead baby. Yeah. I don't know what I thought, actually. So they threw around, when the obstetrician had come in, they said, look, you can go home for the weekend if you like. So this was on the Friday. And then you can come back on the Monday. Or you can stay in and we can start an induction process. Or if you feel like things are moving, you can just wait and see if they happen naturally. And my first thoughts were, I'm not going home. I don't want to sit at home with this baby and then have to come in, next week. And because I'd been induced before, I didn't really, it was a hard, very quick labour. And I'd laboured very quick, actually, for both the girls. So both came very quick.
Okay.
So I said, look, we'll just see. I'd felt a couple of little crampy earlier on while we'd been waiting. But I said, let's just see if things kick off naturally. So at that stage, the obstetrician left. My midwife, I think, had had another birth come up to that hospital. So she came and went throughout the afternoon and just kept checking blood pressure and how I was feeling. And things, I'd probably liken it to sort of period cramping a little bit.
Okay.
And then my midwife came in and checked my blood pressure. And this was about probably 6 o'clock in the evening by now. So the whole day had gone. And my blood pressure had started to sort of rise. And so she said, look, I'm just going to go talk to the doctor. We'll see what they want to do. And they came in and they said, look, due to your previous history with the preeclampsia, I'd really like to start an induction for you tonight. And I said, okay, look, that's fine. Nothing's happened.
Yeah.
So at 7 o'clock, and now it's funny because I can remember these times really well. At 7 o'clock, they brought in the first dose of, starts with M, doesn't it? The drink.
Oh.
The gel drink or whatever you have. And now Benji was born at 7:37. So
wait,
within 37. Yeah. He was born at 7:37. I can still remember that to the dot. 7 o'clock I got my first dose. So whether or not that actually did anything, and so a very, very quick labour. I remember, now I think my midwife had popped back in. She'd been away at a birth. She must have come in about maybe 7:20 or something. And I remember saying, oh gosh, I feel like I need to push, things are ramping up. And another hospital midwife had been in, and I said to her, I felt a few things are moving though, I can tell. And I could tell she didn't believe me. She sort of, things will get a lot worse before they, but my midwife knew my previous history. I never laboured that fast, but things, once they get going,
they're going
pretty quick.
Yeah.
And I said to her, it must have been about 7:20, I feel like I need to push. And she said, oh gosh, okay. And initially they had offered pain relief. You're not limited.
Yes. Right.
There's obviously no risk to the baby. So, and I sort of at the start, I sort of said, oh no, don't worry about it. We'll worry about it when the time comes. Well, we didn't have any time. And I don't know whether it just became all so overwhelming, but I remember saying, look, I really need some pain relief. So they were rushing around. We're just waiting for an anaesthetist to come. Yeah. Well, he never had time to come.
No.
7:37, Benji was born. And it's so sad. I just remember just collapsing on the bed when he was born. And it just felt like the pain and everything you go through, and you got nothing in the end. Nothing to show for in the end. And I can remember just collapsing on the bed, and like everyone says in your podcast, it's so silent, isn't it?
Yeah.
You could have heard a pin drop. Yeah. And he was, like I said, he was just perfect. He was absolutely perfect. All of our kids have had lots of hair. He had a head full of like dark hair. He looked exactly like my husband, spitting image of my husband. Yeah, a spitting image of my husband. And it was little fingers and toes, and yeah, they were all just. It was hard to believe that he was real. Like, he just looked like he was sleeping. It was just heartbreaking, really. And yeah, so my husband cut the cord, and he was probably initially a little bit. I guess we didn't know. And I can remember the midwife said, "Oh, you can jump in now and cut the cord if you want." And so he did. And I think he actually ended up catching him.
Oh. Really?
Yeah. And yeah, I must have. I remember collapsing on the bed, and then I must have got up onto the bed, and they passed him to me, and I just couldn't believe how perfect he was. Like, it just seemed so cruel that he wasn't there with us. Actually, it was truly like the most heartbreaking thing. And so at that stage we had my midwife and then a hospital midwife, and they're all very sensitive. And I saw my midwife crying, and that's when I was like, oh wow, this doesn't happen that often. No. Do you know, like, this isn't just a regular occurrence. It was.
How big was Benji? Do you remember how
he was? Just shy of 6 pounds.
Oh, okay.
So, and that was at nearly 35 weeks. So he would have been, had I have gone full term or anything like that, he would have been a good sized baby.
Oh, completely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't quite remember his length, but my husband is nearly 6'4". So he was a long baby.
He was long. Okay.
He was a good baby. Yeah. 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 And I just, I remember looking at him, and I mean, my daughter that was born at 33 weeks, she was smaller, but you look at this, I want to say life size or whatever baby, and you think, what do you mean they're not breathing or alive? Do you know?
Yeah. You're like, how is this possible? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So, gosh, that was, just after 7:30. Then I think I had to get some stitches. So it must have been about 10 o'clock, I remember, by the time people sort of left the room. And so they had to check him all over top to toe. And during the day, my mum had been down to store to buy some clothes to put him in.
Oh, okay.
And, she said, that's the hardest thing she's ever had to do, was go buy clothes for a baby that we knew had passed away. It really, the whole thing just seems so cruel and
and just wrong.
And it does. It does. It truly does. So about 10 o'clock, people had sort of gone, and they'd bought in a cuddle cot. Cool. And I remember they were having trouble getting that going. And I sort of remember thinking, what is going on here? Surely they can get this together. But I mean, anyway, so they're having trouble getting that going. Finally, I think me and my husband got to go to sleep that night. And on this Saturday morning, I, for a split second, woke up and had forgotten I'd sort of forgotten what had happened just for a split second. But then I sort of was like, oh, God, no, we're in the hospital, and that's the cot beside me. Yeah.
Yeah, you wake up to the nightmare again, right?
100%. Yeah. And it truly, so we spent, my blood pressure had sort of been a little bit niggly. And again, they were probably worried that I was going to develop preeclampsia after birth as well. So they kept us until the Sunday. That whole time, it's like you're in this bubble.
Yeah.
Like a nightmare that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
And I don't know what your hospitals are set up like there, but the room we were in is on the same ward as the delivery. You've got delivery suites just next door to you.
Yes.
So you hear babies crying and women labouring. It's just, really just another element that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah. It's
when you're going through what you're going through, isn't it?
Yeah. Sonja, did you guys, when did you end up naming Benji?
It must have been that. No, it might have been the next day. It might have been the Saturday. Yeah, I think, one of the midwives that had come on the next day must have come in and said, like, talked us over the process of, she said, now I can ring a funeral home for you. And I remember thinking, what? Like,
yeah.
Really? Do you...
What are we doing here? Yeah.
Yeah, what do we need to do? I guess I'd never ever thought about what needed to happen after. But I think she came up and she must have said, like, have you got a name yet? And me and my husband kind of looked at each other and we're like, oh, gosh, no, like we've been caught really off guard here. And so, my husband named him Benji, actually. Yeah.
It's such a sweet, cute name.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there any significance to it? Is it?
No.
Just really liked it?
To him, he just really liked it. And so Benji's middle name is David. Now, David was my grandfather's name.
Oh,
who's passed away. So, it was
nice.
Yeah. It felt nice to have a name for him.
Yes.
To know him as Benji, to then have a name that you could, but, And so the rest of the Saturday, gosh, we, apart from checking blood pressure, we were pretty much left alone. So we also have this company called A Star Is Born come in.
Okay.
And so they come and do like castings.
Oh, great.
Handprints, footprints. And then I also remember they said, oh, look, we've got a group of photographers that come in. And I remember thinking, why do I want to, like, I would obviously taken photos on our phone, but in hindsight, now we've only ever looked at those photos once. But I'm glad that we have them from the photographer on a stick, USB stick. Yes, that was the Saturday. That Saturday felt quite busy. And then we also had some family members come in.
Good, to meet him.
And meet him, And then my dad and his wife brought our kids in. And that was the hardest thing I've ever had to do, was telling them that, how do you explain to a 4-year-old that their sibling didn't make it, and you've got no answers yourself either as to why he passed away. Like, it's, that's one of the hardest things I've ever had to do, actually, was tell them. So they came up and meet him. And, I remember saying to the midwives, like, what do we do? Did the kids come in? Like, is that normal? And it was probably the best thing we did, was let them come in.
Yeah.
And meet him. Yeah. Yeah.
Made him feel like their sibling. That was one thing with my daughter, we wanted her to meet our son, because I'm like, I want you to know your brother, like, that he existed, even though he's not going to be with us. So. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So they came in. I think the funeral home came in on the Saturday too, and just sort of spoke to us about, did you want to have a funeral? Had you thought about cremation or burial? And I thought, what? No, like,
why?
I haven't thought about that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I call it admin after, isn't there? That.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there
you
is.
have to do. Yeah.
So much stuff. It just is like, crazy.
Yeah. And it was quite bizarre. Like, on the Sunday when we got discharged, so the funeral home came and took him, and that was tough, knowing that was the last time you could see him or hold him. They came and took him on the Sunday, and then we got discharged. But the fire alarm had gone off on the Sunday. So I think we got discharged sort of, and when we left, it was very weird how things happened. There was no one around. We just sort of let ourselves out.
That is so bizarre that the fire alarm went off.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, we walked down to the car, and you're not carrying a baby, you're carrying flowers and your hospital notes, and
and no baby.
It's a very empty feeling, like it. Yeah.
It's horrible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Question, did they so did the funeral home came on Sunday and took Benji?
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay. How
Yes, yeah.
how was that, giving up Benji?
That was really, I mean, we had the most lovely funeral director that came.
Oh, good.
And she, I think it was her first weekend or second weekend on.
Uh-huh.
And I remember thinking, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you have to, like, I'm sure in any death, it's never pleasant, but
No.
to come collect a baby that wasn't meant to pass away.
Yeah.
Yes, she was actually very lovely. Yeah, and that was, she gave us all the time we needed. But I mean, how do you say, yes, you can take him now?
Yeah.
Like,
it's horrible. It's terrible.
You're not meant to give up. Yeah, you're not meant to give up your baby, are you?
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So now my husband's family, they had planned to fly down, I think, on the Tuesday. So she did say to us, look, we'll take him to the funeral home. And when your other family arrives, we'll have like I don't want to say a viewing. Sounds, but they can come along and meet him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we decided on a cremation because, I just couldn't think where we would want. I didn't know where we'd want to bury him, or could I even commit to somewhere that
would feel kind of permanent. Yeah. It is very hard.
Yeah. Yeah. So on the Tuesday we went back to the funeral home to see him, and they had him in like a lovely, there's nothing lovely about it, is there? white wee coffin, and had changed quite a bit by that stage. It changed quite a bit by that stage. So my husband's family came down. The funeral director said sort of just a short few words, and we got to spend a little bit more time with him there, and then you leave forever, don't you?
Yeah.
And so we got Benji cremated, and he lives on a shelf in our house at the moment. It's all so, like, even, I mean, we're only 2 years in just about, but it's very surreal feeling still. So it's hard to believe that it all happened, actually.
Yeah. Like it feels pretty messed up. You're like, I promise he lived, and I grew, I gave him, a body, and all I have all I have to show for it is this urn.
Show for it as a little thing on the wall.
Yes. Yes. And it's just so
and you
messed
end
up.
up thinking like, gosh, was I even pregnant? Yeah, it is very messed up. And I think you're just so numb at the start, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like you don't even know you're just getting through day by day, really, aren't you?
Yes, completely.
Yeah, you don't even, yeah. And I also remember, so we left the hospital, and, the midwife said, look, your milk's probably going to come in. And you think, oh, cool. It's another thing to deal with. And I remember going to the chemist, and they said, look, you can get this natural milk stock, because they did offer me like a drug I could take, but they said it can be a bit niggly with blood pressure, and we're concerned about keeping yours normal. So we opted to go for this natural product. And of course, there's a pregnant woman in the store, everything just seems to be highlighted to you. You seem,
a reminder that you are not pregnant and that you don't have your baby.
Yeah. And, like one of the conversations my husband had at the hospital, and my heart breaks for him that he had to have this. I think he had popped out and come back in, and he's in the elevator, and one of the like helicopter pilots that transfer patients, because everyone knows that level 2 is where you go to give birth. He goes, oh, good luck in there. And my husband wasn't going to say, oh, actually, there's nothing lucky about this situation.
No. Yeah.
That's
you're sweet, Benji.
Yeah.
Sonja, I was wondering actually, did they find anything? Was there any sort of, because it sounds like they looked him over after he was born.
Yeah.
Did they find anything that would point to what caused him to pass away?
No, not really. They looked over sent the placenta away. Now, we had a follow-up appointment. It must have been about 6 weeks after to go over anything. They did find, I think when they swabbed the placenta, there was a low level of staph.
Oh.
Like a Staph aureus, but they never suggested that. The only thing that they sort of suggested was it could have been that velamentous cord insertion. But they never definitively said it was, and they said every growth scan, there was never a red flag that would have suggested that he was compromised at all.
Yeah.
So in the end, we didn't really get any answers.
Isn't it so frustrating to be like, there's no answers? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. It's sort of, I never didn't know if that was better or worse.
Yeah.
To have an answer or not, But yeah, physically, he was perfect. It was fine. There was nothing, there was no cord or anything that was wrapped or crimped or to suggest anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so frustrating. I just am like, oh.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and like, I think back now and I think, gosh, how did we do that?
Yeah.
That's a lot for someone to have to deal with, isn't it?
Yeah. You think about it. It was from Friday to Sunday. Like, you had to kind of take it all in 3 days and still dealing with it now. And it's just, what?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, like as time goes on, your brain probably releases like a little bit more information.
Yeah. Yes.
Like at the start, you can't even.
No.
Yeah. You're very numb, I think, for those first 6 months after, like it's, you're just sort of, and it did sort of amaze me that unfortunately everyone else's lives carry on. Like you feel like you remember walking out of the hospital and of course no one's got any idea what's happened to you.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just going about their lives. Yeah.
Yeah. And you feel like it should stop because your world just stopped.
You're like, oh my God, my baby's just died. Like,
yeah. How are you, ordering coffee and going to work and, how do you do those normal things? It just doesn't feel right.
No. Yeah. And like, I mean, as anyone that goes through it, it's very, like I think I would hate for any of my friends or anything to have to go through that. And it's destroying, isn't it? It just completely changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your life. Yeah.
It changes you. It changes your family. And it can be devastating though. It can, but also it can be changing for good too. I don't know.
Yeah. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sort of one thing I do miss probably how naive I was before though.
Yeah. Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
You've got no worry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it kind of the innocence is gone. Like you are
100%
no longer naive to how
now babies can die.
Like now babies can die.
You're just, yeah. It's the whole thing's very tragic, as like for anyone to have to go through it's horrible. Yeah.
Sonja, I am so grateful that you shared Benji with us. I love his name. It's just such a cute little happy name. And
yeah.
And I'm just so sorry that this that we have similar stories, and it's just it changes you. Before we finish up, I'm wondering if you want to say anything else that we may have missed, or any other things that you want to say about Benji himself and that you want to share with us.
I just, as I said at the start, I was blown away by how perfect he was. And I guess I didn't know what I didn't know what to expect either. I mean, when you're told you're going to deliver a dead baby, what do you, but he was just perfect. And as I said, he just looked like he was sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you kind of think, oh, surely he's going to open his eyes. Yeah. They've got it wrong, I'm sure. And I remember when the sonographer was up there, just crossing my fingers that someone had got something wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sorry again, Sonja. I'm grateful that we got to talk about him today.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. And thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
No, I really, I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.